So welcome back, everybody, to a brand new video here on the second channel, and today we're going to be looking at this brand new Shaman that just got revealed from Destined Rivals, because it is, of course, going to be Manaphy's replacement. Yes, Manaphy's replacement is here. We are going to be playing in the Journey Together format with no Manaphy. However, when we get to our May set Destined Rivals, we will be getting another Manaphy-like card, which will be interesting to see. And in today's video, I'm just going to be yapping about the Shaman for a little bit. Probably going to be a bit of a shorter one, probably around like 4 to 5 minutes long. But the Shaman is a bit different than Manaphy. There's a few design differences with this card and then Manaphy, so it's a bit different and a little bit more interesting to talk about in my opinion. And yeah, if y'all are new here to the second channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We're on the road to 22,000 subs, and I'll leave a link to PokeBeach down below if you want to go check out their site and read up on all of the Destined Rivals cards that have been revealed so far. So yeah, when we get rotation, we're going to be playing in a format with no Manaphy in it at all, which is going to make the format a lot more interesting because a lot of the bench snipe attackers are going to be a lot more stronger. However, when we get to Destined Rivals in May, we are going to get Shaymin, which of course has the ability Flower Curtain, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon within a rule box by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So yeah, Shaymin's ability, same as Manaphy. However, rule box Pokemon are not affected. Obviously, when you have Manaphy on the bench right now, your rule box Pokemon can't be affected by damage from attacks. However, Shaymin makes it so that it's only the non-rule boxer Pokemon. So all your EXs sitting on the bench can still be damaged by bench snipe attacks. However, all your one prize Pokemon cannot be damaged. So all your little guys like your Dracloaks, your Charmanders, your Pidgeys, all that stuff, well, they're going to be safe from bench snipers. And here's the thing, with rotation, we are going to be losing Manaphy, like I said. So all these big attackers like the Darmanitan in the End's Zoroark deck, Wellspring, Ogerpon EX, they're seeing a lot more play in Japan and doing really well because there's no way to protect your bench from those attacks currently. There is Rabsca, but the problem with Rabsca is it's a stage 1 Pokemon, so you have to get a Rellor down, and the Rellor might get knocked out. If you want to get the Rabsca out quickly, you'd have to, like, Team Evo it, which is, like, not a terrible strategy, but ideally, you'd rather just put a basic down like a Manaphy. Now, here's the thing with Shaymin. So, it has 80 HP. It doesn't have 70 HP like Manaphy had. Manaphy, having 70 HP makes it Buddy Poffinable. Shaymin has 80 HP. You cannot use Buddy Poffin to find Shaymin. Now, you can look at this two ways. One, it's a good thing because, you know, those bench snipe Pokemon aren't going to be nerfed as much. Like, Darmanitan is, in my opinion, what makes the End Zoroark deck really, like, at least have legs. However, if Manaphy was in the format, you could just Poffin for a Manaphy, and immediately the Zoroark deck would be completely nerfed, and I think the deck would be almost unplayable, to be honest with you. So I like how they designed this Shaymin to have enough HP where you can't Poffin for it, so it's not as easy to get into play. Now, you can still get it out with, like, a Nest Ball, an Ultra Ball, or even, like, an Artisan if you're playing that. Depending on how your deck is designed, though, you might not be playing that many. Like, most decks that play 4 Poffin usually don't play 4 Nest Ball, 4 Poffin. It's usually 4 Nest Ball, or 4 Poffin, sorry, 2 to 3 Nest Balls, and some decks don't even play Artisan, so some decks won't be able to easily search out the Shaymin, and that's definitely an interesting card design, because if you're playing like an all-one price deck, usually your all-one price deck would probably be playing Buddy Poffin, right? Well, now you have to consider playing cards like Artisan and more Nest Ball in your deck so that you can get Shaymin down if you happen to play against a deck that uses the Darmanitan or the Wellspring Ogerpon EX. Also, it is interesting how they designed the Shaymin to have the ability to not protect your rule box Pokemon. I mean, Manaphy blocking your rule box Pokemon is also kind of OP. Nice thing with this ability is if you put Shaymin in play against a deck like the Zoroark deck and they use the Darmanitan, at the very least, they can still attack the rule box Pokemon with the Darmanitan's attack, so they can still be hitting the Squawkabilly, the Latias, the Pheasantipity EX, stuff like that, other EX Pokemon on the bench, which is cool. The Shaymin is also going to be interesting to have in the format when the Mega Evolutions come out. Mega Evolutions can be countered pretty easily from what we've seen so far because they're going to be evolving from their little guys. That 7 HP Riolu is looking pretty tasty for Ogerpon, Wellspring Ogerpon, or for the Darmanitan to knock out before they evolve. But if you get the Shaymin down, then you can not snipe them. However, you can still snipe the Mega Evolutions, which is interesting to note. So yeah, I think this is an interestingly designed card. I saw some comments, people saying, why does this card not block Dragapulse attack? They're not going to print a basic Pokemon that has the ability to block Phantom Dive on the bench. That would just be a little too OP. That would nerf Dragapult probably too much where Pokemon would not be happy with that. So that's why, you know, I just saw a lot of comments of people asking why this card does not block Dragapult too. They're not going to do that. That just, a basic Pokemon blocking Phantom Dive is a little too good. But it is nice to get a Manaphy back. We are going to be playing in that Journey Together format, like I said, where there's going to be no Manaphy. So we'll have to see if these one-prize decks can compete as much when stuff like Kyurem and the Darmanitan and the Wellspring Ogerpon are going to see a lot of success, right? Kyurem within the Slow King deck, and then obviously Darmanitan and Zork. So we'll have to see kind of how the meta evolves with all these bench snipers existing. We're going to be in a pretty big bench snipe heavy meta, in my opinion, with Journey Together's format. But when we get Shaymin, things will slow down a little bit. And, with Shaymin's release, we're probably going to have to see people start to innovate with their lists a little bit more to try to fit more copies of Nest Balls or Artisans in their decks so that it's easier to get Shaymin into play if you're up against one of these bench sniper decks. And it'll be interesting to see how it nerfs these decks like Kyurem and the Darmanitan decks. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video here. A bit of a yap fest. Let me know what you think of the Shaymin EX down below in the comment section. I'll leave a link to Pokebeach, and I'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye.